What did I tell you fellas about shooting?
Hey guys, Dave from Timber Time Outdoors. I've got a special guest here with me today. We are going to talk about how to shoot a rifle or a shotgun, some top tips on how to make you a little bit more accurate. And so stay with us, guys, and remember, keep it in the timber.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
All right, let's get into it, guys, and I think we'll start off with an introduction. So, good buddy Jim Norton here. Why don't you introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your background, your experiences, and what's made you a good teacher of shooters.
Yep. So, spent 14 years in the military, was an avid hunter growing up, but the military is kind of where I found my passion for shooting and teaching. So I was kind of identified early as a good marksman, and so for any of you guys in the military know, if you're even an above average shooter, they kind of want you helping out the younger guys, the guys who need some help. And so I was in charge of running the rifle range and teaching the basic rifle marksmanship courses. Kind of over the years, kind of boiled it all down to 5 basic principles that will make it's not going to turn you into Chris Kyle. It's going to make you, an okay shooter to a good shot. You know, we're not looking for pinholes, but we want to minimize misses and maximize your harvest this deer season.
So Jim, I know, the first time we hunted, I think I took you on a blood trail from hell because I made a bad shot, and you worked with me right away. I was a terrible shot as a youngster, and even in my mid-20s, I unfortunately wounded a lot of deer, and it was basically some fundamentals that I was doing wrong, and I really appreciated you just kind of working with me. Some of those basics, they really make a huge difference.
Yep.
5 things that are going to make us better. And these are not in order of priority, they are in order of sequence. As you're thinking through the shot, is that right?
That's correct.
All right, so.
Yep. So first things first is stable shooting platform. When you're up in the tree stand and stuff like that, you have options out there. A lot of the stands these days, they have shooting rails, which are great to have. A lot of times when you get up there, though, it might be loose or something. It's important to make sure that those shooting rails are as stable as possible. So that's kind of one thing you want to check in when you're up in the stand and it's still dark out, let's say, and you're just kind of getting set.
So that's something you can set up ahead of time. Now, what if you're a guy that's, maybe you're hunting on the ground and deer surprises you? Is there anything you can do with the strap, or how can you get stable?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of different ways, and this strap in particular, it's made by Specialty Outdoor Products. This is a great strap to have.
I'll link
rubber.
that in the description, guys. This thing is awesome.
Yep, and it's a all rubber piece, and so it's really grippy and stretchy. So you can get a really good stable platform out of this, and a lot of hunters do this already. But you'd stick your arm through the strap like this all the way through, and then you want to wrap it around again and grab the stock. And then when you pull it to your shoulder, you have a pretty stable platform right there. This is a good technique to have. You can do this with other straps as well, like the Claw is one that I've used in the past and I've had a lot of success with. But for me and for my money, this type of strap that's kind of flexible like that, and you can really crank down and get a really solid, stable position. And one more would be using the tree. That's kind of the third thing. So you got the shooting rail, you got the strap like this. Say if you need to make a shot that's all the way to your right or to the left, and it's just kind of not working out, to be able to pin or set the rifle up against a tree or maybe on a tree branch to help you is a really good technique as well.
The first thing you got to have in place is stability. All right, so let's talk about number 2. What is number 2?
So number 2 would be sight picture. And again, anybody in the military who have taught the classes that I taught, you'll hear that a lot. Sight picture. That's one of the things that we harp on the most. we're using, back when I first got in, we were using iron sights. Then we started using the ACOGs and other optics. But so for optics like scopes like this one here made by Vortex, it's important to, one, you want to have your the crosshairs as clear as possible, because really that is what you're looking at. You're looking at the crosshairs and then the target beyond. So you don't want to be focused on the target, you want to be focused on the crosshairs.
So those crosshairs, where do you put those? Like, there's tons of videos on where to aim on the deer. That's not what we're talking about, but you've used the term aim small, miss small.
Yep.
You've probably all heard that before. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah.
Like,
Aim small, miss small. Anybody who's seen The Patriot knows that term, right?
Aim small, miss small. Aim small, miss small.
So aim small, miss small means that instead of aiming for, a lot of times you want to just hit the vitals on a deer, which are, roughly about this size when you're talking lungs and heart. That's your target. But what you want to do really is you want to pick a target this big, right dead center of those vitals, right? Well, I'm not trying to turn anybody into people who shoot deer right in the heart every single time. I just want you to hit vitals. We want to have an ethical kill. So to do that, you want to pick a spot on the deer like a hair or a tuft of hair, right? Something kind of dead center of that vitals, because if you kick one way or the other, you've still got, your margin of error is this when you're aiming like this. So it's important.
Yep.
Aim small, miss small.
Yeah, I mean, that helped me a lot. Just from a confidence standpoint, that really helped. I mean, it kind of just focuses you a little bit. Instead of, oh my gosh, there's a big deer, boom, center of mass. It makes you think about the shot a little bit. So I think that's a great one. So let's get into number 3.
Number 3, breathing. It's very important to have consistency in your shot. Once your lungs are empty of air, that's the best time to take your shot, because your chest rising and falling is actually going to affect the weapon. So when you're breathing in, you're going to be aiming higher, and if you're trying to fight that, that's not good either. You want to be as relaxed as possible when you're getting ready to take this shot. So breathe in, breathe out, and once you get to that natural pause, and you can even hold your breath to do this if you need
I was just going to ask, do you hold your breath? Or?
Yep, I do it all the time. So you just kind of hold your breath, and then you want to pull the trigger and take that shot. Empty your lungs of air, and that's when you take the shot.
Yeah, archery versus guns, it's a completely different hunt. A lot of times these deer, for guns, they're coming in kind of hot. Maybe they were spooked by somebody else, and so you don't have a lot of time. So I think that breathing is really important to kind of time it with the deer. Obviously, you want to try to stop them, and there's videos on how to do all that stuff. But I think that's an awesome one. I personally hold my breath. At least I pause. I don't know if I actually, but at the downstroke of or the exhale, I pause for me.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good one.
Yep.
So what's the 4th one?
So the 4th one is trigger squeeze. That's another one. It's really important. And I think, to be honest with you, it's the most important.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So when you pull the trigger, you want to do it slowly. You don't want to hammer the trigger, because then you're going to pull a shot left or push a shot right, or vice versa. And it's just really important also, because what I like to say is let the gun surprise you when it goes off.
Yep.
You want to have complete control of the weapon, obviously, but if you let that gun surprise you, a couple things happen. One, you're not hammering the trigger, so you're not going to be pulling or pushing around, but if you let it surprise you, you can keep your body relaxed, and you just pull that trigger slowly back, and you just let it go off. And then that way, if you flinch or if you're tense at all, you're not going to have a good shot. And I'm guilty of that too. When I'm at the range and I'm zeroing a weapon or I'm just playing around, right? I'll get I'll get a couple good shots in right around the bullseye. Maybe my shots are touching,
Yep.
and then I get a little cocky and I just want to rip off the next
Yep.
shot. And that's when you toss one way or the other, right? And when I mean toss, I mean you're not tossing it way up here, almost off the paper.
Yep.
What I want you guys to get out of this is your tosses are going to go from here to like here. So still a dead deer,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of what we're all going for with that.
Right.
But you let it surprise you when you go off. You pull back slowly, 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 and then boom, it goes off. And before your body has a chance to react, the round is out the barrel and downrange.
Yeah, this was probably my biggest flaw when you taught me, and you saw me flinching, and it was, in my mind, this is what I was doing. I'd be, okay, sight picture, I got that. And then I would hold my breath, and then I would just bang. I would just pull it like I just had this mental, I got to shoot right now and pull it instead of, okay, hold and let it scare you. And
Yep.
that helped me so much.
Yep, and you can actually see this on the range if you're honest with yourself, right? So you go in and you're firing off your rounds. Say you get you're locked and loaded, you're ready to go. Range is hot. You're getting ready to send your first round down range, but you forget to take the safety off. But you don't realize it.
Uh-huh.
And so then you go, and you're like, oh, nothing happened. Oh, I forgot to take the safety off. But that flinch is what we're talking about.
Yep.
So that, or if you're at the end of your magazine, if you're shooting an AR or something like that, and you don't realize, there again, you pull the trigger and you go forward, and that's what kills everybody. That's what turns a dead deer into a wounded deer or a scared deer,
Yeah.
right? So that's really important. And there's different shooting techniques you can do to minimize that, but the most important one is letting it surprise you or scare you when it goes off.
It makes sense. Okay, what's the last one? Number 5.
Number 5 is kind of easy, but it's follow through. A lot of people don't. It's kind of underrated, really, because
Well, it's big in archery.
it's big in archery, big in golf. If you're a
in
golfer,
golf, yes.
you want the follow through. You want the swing, the follow through. With archery, you want to be pull, and then you want to release and the follow through like that.
So what does that mean in a gun?
So in a gun, you just want to try and follow the round through your scope. Really is all that it is, because really you want to hold as still as possible, and you want to be able to see the round through your scope impact the target. I know that when the gun goes off, you're going to blink your eyes,
Yep.
and I do it too. Everybody does it. But the fact of the matter is you want to be prepared to watch that round downrange, so that you kind of keep the same cheek to stock, the same everything as possible.
Yeah, what you taught me was, okay, when you're about, you're gonna pull that trigger, you're obviously gonna kind of lose the deer. You're gonna puff of smoke or whatever, muzzleloader. You really get the puff of smoke.
Yeah.
But find the deer in the scope. Don't do this. Don't look for that deer. Where's he running?
Right.
Do not do that. And what you taught me was, this is kind of the follow through is find the deer in the scope, or try to, like you said, watch. You can't, but watch the bullet hit the deer. Watch the reaction of the deer through the scope, and that will keep that gun steady. At least that helped me a ton.
And the follow through portion of it is literally a second. It's not very long, but you just want to make sure that you hold that same position as you're pulling the trigger. The weapon goes off, the round goes down range, and then you just hold it for just a second so that you keep that same body position.
All right, so let's recap. What are the top 5 again?
So top 5 are stable shooting platform, whether it's a tree, your shooting rail, or the strap. And then number 2 is sight picture. You want to make sure that aim small, miss small. Always remember that. 3 is breathing. Breathe in, breathe out, and that helps you relax a little bit, maybe get that heart rate down. During the natural pause is when you want to pull the trigger. If you have to hold your breath a little bit, hold your breath with the lungs empty. Next, trigger squeeze. Let the weapon scare you when it goes off. That ensures that you're not flinching or anything like that. And then last is follow through. Keep that same sight picture. Try and follow that round down range, and then look up. Don't shoot and look up at the same time. And then hopefully, and again, this is stuff that I think about every time I shoot the weapon,
Yep.
whether it's at the range or are in the stand, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, practice, guys. You got to practice this. This does not come naturally to me. Every year I got to go through these like drills, basically. So practice this on the range. Hopefully it'll work for you in the deer stand.
A saying that we had in the military is, if you don't use it, you lose it, and that is the fact. So,
That's true with sports and whatnot.
Yep,
So
yep.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
all right, man.
All right, that's going to wrap up this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned a few things about shooting a gun, and hopefully you'll be more successful in your hunting this year. And remember, guys, what do I always say?
Keep it in the timber.
Bye-bye.